Hello everyone, this is Logan59XP here, and apologies for not really having the proper opening right there, but I didn't really have something set up because I couldn't think of, because I had everything set up from yesterday from the Mario Kart stream, but I wasn't sure what song to put in because I had a different song set up for that until I came up with the idea for putting the trailer in, so I just figured we'll just hard cut to the desktop here instead of doing the stream starting soon screen, at least for today. I'll figure out what song I want to use because I'm trying to like move away from using the Persona music for a while, because I've been using the Persona music for like my, starting screens and be right back screens and ending screens for like a couple of years now, like the same couple of tracks, and I want to kind of, not use them for a while because I think I've used them a lot. I'm trying to move away from that. But I haven't fully settled on what I want to use yet, but that's a whole other conversation for another day. But anyways, we are here today, of course, to react to the State of Play. Of course, I mentioned I was going to do this yesterday during the Mario Kart stream. And we are here, like I said I was. In terms of expectations, I mean, this is a State of Play, not a PlayStation showcase. So my expectations are not exactly sky high. Not that I would have sky high expectations anyway. I know I tend to not really have sky high expectations for like these kind of events in general, no matter who's doing it. Like, I don't even have sky high expectations for like directs. Like, I just don't do that anymore. I mean, once upon a time, back in, back in the day, sure, my expectations used to be a lot higher, but as I think I talked about yesterday when I was talking about the whole kind of lead up to E3 2015 for Nintendo and how it ultimately ended up falling flat with the actual presentation that mattered. That was kind of the moment where I kind of was like, okay, maybe don't build up these events, too much. That doesn't mean I have zero expectations, but it means that my expectations need to be kept in check, right? It's what they always say, right? Like there's the picture that I think Source Gaming likes to post every time. Or at least they used to back in the day. It was like, hype responsibly or something like that, kind of like that, But anyways, that's a whole other thing. Point is, we're here for this, and expectations, well, the only thing that I think has any chance of showing up here that I actually would want to see, I guess, would be Spider-Man DLC, but I still need to work on that game because I started it, like I got it last year. And then I started it like a month ago, and then I got a few hours in, and then I stopped, and I haven't gone back to it since, and I need to do that because I need to finish that so I can do FF7 Rebirth, which I have completely ignored. I have not watched any of Max's videos. I haven't watched any other kinds of videos. I have gone completely cold turkey on FF7 content because I haven't played Rebirth yet, and I still don't actually know what happens. I think a little before the game came out, I saw some comment on some website that supposedly spoiled it. I'm just gonna say it. I don't actually know if it was true though, or if they were just joking though. But aside from that maybe joke comment that maybe spoiled something, I don't actually know anything that happens in terms of what. Well, okay. The only other thing I know is that the game ends with like a big fight or whatever, like the last one did. That's about the only other thing I know, but I don't know anything else. I don't know any actual other thing that happens that's like different or new compared to what happens in the original. But I also still have to work on the original game, because in the original game I only really got as far as like the original game, as in not the first, not part one, but like, the original FF7. Like, I only ever got really as far as like a little after Midgar, then I stopped and I never really progressed past that point. And every time I would replay the game, it would be on a different platform, so I'd have to replay the Midgar section again and again and again. But it's a whole other conversation right there. But the point is, yeah, I still, because I have Rebirth. It's sitting on the shelf alongside Spider-Man 2. Still haven't played it. And then I still have to play Mario Wonder and Mario RPG, which I also have and are sitting on the shelf, and I still haven't played yet. And then I have to play Persona 3 Reload, which I don't have physically, but I have it through Game Pass. But of course the answer is coming out, so I may as well wait for that to be out before I play it. So and then I gotta get the Thousand Year Door at some point, which I don't have at the moment for reasons I explained in yesterday's stream, but I will be getting it eventually. I will do my part to make sure that game sells. But I got all these other games I need to play first. I really need to add another game to the backlog that I probably won't play for like months. You know, there's almost a part of me that's like, get it and then don't play it to see if there's a patch for the Switch 2. But I'm so back and forth on the concept of us getting Switch 2 patches. I mean, obviously everyone wants it. It's just, are we going to actually get it? Is that something that they would actually do? I mean, I think for games that... Thousand Year Door, ironically, is a game where I feel like doing a patch makes sense, because that's not the kind of game that they can really do twice. But that's a whole other conversation that we will get into whenever I get around to making that Switch 2 discussion that I talked about yesterday, which will probably be sometime next month, but that'll be when that happens. But anyways, I keep getting sidetracked here. Spider-Man 2 DLC, that's about it in terms of stuff that actually has a chance of showing up here. Because there's been talk of Persona 6. There was a leaked logo, like a leaked beta logo, which, by the way, spoiler alert, it's apparently green. Like, the Persona 6's color is going to be green, which a lot of people have been kind of speculating and hoping for. Because obviously, you know, 3 was blue, 4 was yellow, 5 was red, so it only made sense that 6 was green to kind of complete, like, the big primary colors, you know, and all that. But before they moved on to maybe other kinds of colors. But then, of course, Persona 1 is purple. Well, let me rephrase that. Persona 1 PSP is purple. The original Revelations Persona doesn't really have a color. Maybe it's purple, I don't know. But Persona 1 nowadays is purple, right? Like during the 25th anniversary, right? Like when they had I'm not even sure if he has an official name. I think it's just Persona 1 for tag, or Boy with Earring in one of the translations. I don't think he has an actual name. All the other protagonists have a name, right? Like all the other ones have a name. But not Persona 1 for tag, to my knowledge. At least not 100% legitimately, anyway. But yeah, Persona is a series that's been on the back burner for me. I used to be like really invested in it like a few years ago, back in like 2019, 2020, 2021. But ironically, I think the reason why it's kind of been on the back burner is because Fither doesn't make videos, and Fither was like my favorite like Persona channel. And he has been on hiatus for like 8 months. I think he's part of the reason I haven't really been invested in it too. Like, again, I haven't played Reload, and if this was any other universe, I would probably have played Reload by now, especially because it's just on Game Pass. I don't even have to buy it. I mean, I do want to have a physical copy of that for PS5 at some point, maybe if they do like a bundle with the Answer DLC or something. Not a re-release, but like a bundle, has it on the disc or something. Not a DLC code. I don't want a DLC code. I want it on the disc, but that's a whole other conversation. But I don't know. I'll get back into Persona at some point, because that's become like a staple franchise for me. You know, over the years, over the last like 4 or 5 years, that's become like a staple franchise for me. It's just one that's on the back burner at the moment. But yeah, I'm gonna get around to playing because I played Tactica. It's a fun game. It's nothing special, you know. And you know, it's a game that is exactly Tactica is exactly the game I thought it was gonna be. It's basically Q3 with tactics gameplay. Hence the name Tactica. But it's like it's Q3 in like every sense in the word, except it doesn't have the other characters and it's just the P5 cast. But it is basically Q3. It's a fun game. I liked playing it. Never got around to playing the DLC that has Akechi and Sumeria in it, but it was a fun game. But you know, it's a side game that doesn't really matter and you can easily skip. Although I will give them credit, they do not spoiler alert for this game that most people didn't even play. But Tactica, I thought was gonna end with everyone losing their memories, because that's what happens in the Q games and a lot of like the spin-offs that aren't canon and don't matter. But they actually remember what happens. There's not a memory wipe in Tactica, which I think is kind of interesting. Now, does that mean we're gonna see those characters? What's her name? I already forget her name. Oh my god. The new character. Well, there's 2 new characters, but like the new like girl character, I forget her name. Is it Ellie? Or is that the Japanese name for her? Arena? Is that her name? Arena? I forget. It's been like a while. Maybe she'll show up in like Persona 5 Arena, which at this point feels. I think we've reached that point. I think for a lot of people, where like people really are just like, you know what? I think I'm good on Persona 5 stuff. I think it's been that case for like a little while now, but it really does feel like, okay, now we're really genuinely ready to move on. Like, I'm at that point. I mean, don't get me wrong, I love Persona 5, but I've been ready to move on from it for about a year. For about like a year or so at this point. I'm ready for 6. I'm ready for 6. I'm ready to move beyond this. I'm ready to move beyond this era, but obviously, that's a whole other conversation in and of itself. Alrighty then, it is 3 p.m. and the presentation should be starting any second now. Okay, here we go. Okay, let's go ahead and blow that up. It is a 4K presentation, so that's great. I'm hoping that once the Switch 2 becomes a thing, that a Nintendo will start uploading their videos and doing streams and stuff in 4K, so you can actually get the better bit rate. That's the main improvement for 4K and 1440p on YouTube, by the way. It's not really the resolution. I mean, the resolution's great, but it's really about the bit rate. The bit rate being so much better. Okay, let me make sure the desktop audio is working. There we go. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Alrighty then, let's see what you got. Oh god, what? That is such a tease. Why the heck would you have a countdown and then have another countdown after it? So one thing about this state of play that's interesting is that this state of play has a new style. They've had the same style for like the last couple of years, but they now have a new style, which makes me kind of curious as to see like how much the program has changed. Okay, so here's the real countdown, right? Okay, here we go. Now it's actually starting. Alrighty then, yeah, usual disclaimers.
Hi everyone, I'm Asad Kizilbash.
Oh, what the? Why do I have Arabic turned on?
And head of PlayStation Productions. I'm here to welcome one of the newest members of the PlayStation Studios family, Firewalk. Talented
What the?
in our industry,
Oh, whoops.
with an incredible pedigree.
What the heck? Why does it keep...
We announced their first game, Concord, last year, and today they're revealing gameplay captured in-engine on PS5. But first, here's an extended vignette introducing some of the cool characters you'll find in the Concord Galaxy. Enjoy.
Okay, hold on. That was an updated PlayStation Studios logo. That had some newer stuff in it. See a Firewalk. Is that the studio? No, it's Fire Sprite. Fire Sprite. That's the studio that they got a few years ago. Or is Fire Sprite Firewalk and they like renamed themselves? Well, I don't even know anymore. Why does this look like Guardians of the Galaxy? That's what this looks like.
Wasn't the plan. It was a spontaneous, creative decision made after years of careful research.
Being really old and almost dying a bunch doesn't count as research.
Almost dying is the best way to learn how not to die. Besides, it worked, didn't it?
How much longer for the upload?
A few more minutes. Hey, start time. Try it with hot sauce. You'll like it. Trust me.
Oh, no. Do not trust him.
Whoa. Where's this coming from?
It's coming from you back on the ship saying, trust me, we're professionals. We'll stick to the plan. We can do this. And then, that. That was not the plan.
Technically, it was a plan. It just wasn't the same plan that we started with.
If we don't leave with this blue button...
Amar, we will. We will.
I'll be waiting outside.
No one moves. We'll be taking this off your hands.
What? This?
Funny.
Yeah, I have no idea what this game is. If this is a game that's like already been revealed at one point, we just haven't seen anything on it. I really don't know what this is. Apparently it's a PlayStation Studios game of some kind, though.
Copy that, Bill.
Or at least a published game. Which is not necessarily the same thing. Like, for example, Helldivers 2, right? That is a Sony published game, but it's not made by a Sony studio. Same with Stellar Blade. Stellar Blade is a not made by a Sony studio, but it's published by Sony. Whereas obviously, you know, your Naughty Dogs and Insomniacs and Sucker Punches and whatnot, their own Santa Monica studio, they're owned by Sony. So those are like fully 100% first party. My guess is this is a live service thing of some kind. I'm just getting that impression, but I have no clue. Obviously, this is just a CG trailer. A good-looking CG trailer, but a CG trailer.
This would be a very dishonorable way for us all to die.
I've never really been the kind of person that's like, boo, CG trailer, because, like, I feel like if a CG trailer is done well, then it's a good thing. I mean, look at all the Smash trailers that were CG that we all love, right? I guess it just depends on the game. I don't know.
To the rendezvous point.
Perhaps we should have let go also.
One off. Do not dare.
But we were supposed to stick together.
If you let
Him
go,
would
I
never leave me.
swear I will rain
Oh,
vengeance.
look, there they are. Hi. What the?
I am glad you avoided a dishonorable death.
Almost dying is the best way to learn how not to die. Or something.
I knew this was gonna work.
This wasn't the plan.
Well, it just wasn't the one we started with. All right, another satisfied customer. Goods delivered. I sent everyone their cut.
Ooh, yeah.
So do you, like, carry it around with you for emergency bland situations or whatever?
Hey, Mara. Don't joke about something like this.
Our next job is somewhere with less
We'll
scaffolding.
have no scaffolding. Zero scaffolding. I promise. We were apart for so long. I thought I'd never feel your fiery embrace again.
You sound ridiculous.
Why does that logo look familiar?
Concord is a 5v5 first-person shooter set in the vibrant sci-fi universe of the Concord Galaxy. In Concord,
Okay, so here's
the
actual
multi-million
gameplay.
part of the
And it's
crew of
60
the
FPS, so...
group of guns for hire known in our galaxy as free gunners. Free gunners are those lucky enough to be free to roam the stars. They take high-stake jobs on worlds across wild space, where they face other fiercely competitive free gunner crews. Here's the very first look at the gameplay of Concord.
Free gunning. It's hard work, but it's our work, and we don't take it for granted. Being a free gunner means, well, you're free.
Right on target. Yeah, you better run.
Free gunners have a shot at making something of themselves, a chance to be someone.
All right.
Need a second to fix myself up.
I believe they said this event is going to be 30 minutes long.
Why not?
Makes me wonder how much of it they're going to spend on this game.
And in the wilds, it's anyone's game.
I'm also not really sure if we needed to see that big CG, like, 3-minute thing that didn't really tell us anything.
Endless rage.
We risk our lives every day to do the job.
I'll clear the way. Time to show them the big guns. That's me.
This crew will go go anywhere. Take any job. Face any enemy.
We're already 10 minutes in, for what that's worth.
We're the Free Gunner crew of the North Star. And
I probably wouldn't have brought that up if it wasn't for the fact that this is a 30-minute event and not the usual like 45, 50-hour long events that we're kind of used to from these. Even state of plays tend to be longer than this, never mind PlayStation showcases, so it's a little interesting that it's only 30 minutes.
The crew is gathering. Would you like to join us for game night?
With Concord.
Oh, did you see that? That was a cutscene in the actual game because there was a thing at the bottom that said like press X to skip.
We focused a ton of our attention and our tech on building a strong gameplay foundation of tight core movement, precise visceral shooting, and expressive abilities.
We ended up finding ourselves influenced a lot by fighting games and even strategy games in the interesting way that the asymmetry of their characters makes every fight, every matchup feel really different.
Leaning into the asymmetry of the characters, really pushing the possibility space of two different characters colliding. It's all about creating opportunities for improvisation. That's where we can get out of the way and let players find their own magic. We also have abilities that are meant to have impact beyond direct combat. Deployable gear that can persist throughout a full game, so whether that's multiple rounds of a mode or multiple respawns across a match. They're healing.
Kind of odd how they're going between like 60 FPS gameplay and what I assume is like 24 FPS like shots of like the developers.
Plan ahead, and depending on where and when it happens, players can shift the battlefield to their advantage.
We've got everything from mystics and medics.
I think it's 24. I don't think it's 30. I think it's 24.
Every character brings their own unique personality, skills, and wide-ranging perspectives to the crew. Every week, when you log into Concord, you will be welcomed with a new cinematic vignette that will give you a chance to see our characters off the job. They will feature ongoing narrative arcs that grow the characters' stories and relationships and unpack the broader Concord galaxy.
Why are you kissing a tchotchke?
We're excited to share that we'll be hosting.
It really does look like Guardians to me. I don't know why. It just looks like Guardians.
23rd, 2024.
So that's gonna be. So yeah, this is definitely a live service thing, which is why it's coming out day and date. Is it going to do as well as Helldivers? I personally doubt it. But then again, I thought Helldivers wasn't going to do all that well. Because if you guys remember, when Helldivers was announced around this time last year at the last PlayStation Showcase, people were not very excited for it. Okay, God of War on PC. We knew this was going to happen. I mean, like, everything's coming to PC now, right? It may not be day and date, but like we know that like it's basically certain that everything is going to come to PC at some point. Like they're probably not going to announce it right now, but like you can bet that like sometime maybe later this year or next year they're going to announce Spider-Man 2 for PC, because that's the thing. All their games coming to PC now. They just don't do them day and date. At least yet. I think the day will probably come when they're day and date. Maybe when the PS6 comes out, they'll move to day and date. Ooh, FSR 3.1. That's a big deal because FSR 3.1 is like the big new update for FSR 2 that's gonna improve image quality finally after like a year and a half of stagnation. So that's cool. But then again, Ratchet and Clank is gonna be getting it as well. So I guess it's not really a surprise that like another big, you know, Sony port is going to be getting it. But yeah, so up-to-date versions of all of the upscalers, NVIDIA, AMD, and Intel. So that's great to see. Also, FSR 3.1 is going to introduce like DLL files for FSR, so you'll be able to do the thing you can do with DLSS, where like even if the developer doesn't update the DLSS for better versions, you can do it on your own. But they have to be on FSR 3.1 at a minimum. So all the existing FSR 2 games, you won't be able to do DLLs with yet.
Soldiers and officials alike.
I didn't pay attention. Oh, what did they say? September, I think, is for when God of War Ragnarok's coming out on PC. This is... what's it called?
Perhaps
Rise of the Ronin DLC, I'm guessing. Rise of the Ronin, that's the game that came out earlier this year. This is probably DLC for that, I'm guessing.
But even so, someone
Also, was that a new Omega Force logo? It's not the red W that they've had for like forever. Wait, no, this is Dynasty Warriors. I think. This looks like Dynasty Warriors anyway. There hasn't been a new Dynasty Warriors game in a while. I think the last one that came out was in like 2018, 2019, and it did not perform well. Yeah, Dynasty Warriors Origins. A prequel?
Momo, I think I was dreaming. It wasn't a dream. We were really transported to Mirrorland. The path of a stylist is never easy. So, are you ready for it? Ready. We're ready. Ready.
I like this music. Also 60 FPS. I have no clue what this game is. Like, what is this game supposed to be? Noticing a big focus on pictures.
Is it you who pursues infinity?
Is that a new game or is that a port? Because I wouldn't be surprised if this is a game that already exists and it's just getting a port to the PS5. Wait, now, is this another game from the same company? Because they showed the logo again. Or maybe this is a different game?
I pray for their grace, but all that came were inferior shades. Why do we have to bear the consequences of such power?
60 FPS. The reason I'm bringing up 60 FPS is because like there have been games that have only been 30 on PS5 and Series X. There have been a couple. So like now, because like for a while every game had a 60 FPS mode, and then we started to get a couple of games that were like 30 and people were like getting worried that we're going back to that. But all of these so far have been 60. There might be a 30 FPS quality mode, but like it's 60.
Remember, no matter what happens, we did not betray this world.
Okay, coming to PS5 2025. Okay, PSVR 2. They did say there was going to be PSVR 2 stuff. Yeah, from Skydance. Who are like a movie studio primarily.
I thought I could be a hero and break the curse. But I was a fool.
The PSVR 2 is interesting because it came out last year and it was seen as like a good device, but it just didn't have much support going for it, at least from Sony themselves. They had the Horizon Call of the Wild thing, or whatever it was called, Call of the Mountain, But that was about it. Oh, well, you can see some frame rate drops right there. You look at that frame rate.
The poison in my veins begs me to kill.
It does look sharp, though. In fact, there were rumors. Maybe we'll see this later on in the stream, but there were rumors that that maybe
Heroes don't survive the Forsaken Lands.
we'll be getting official announcement of like PSVR 2 support for PC. I don't think that's officially happened, but there's been talk about it for a while. $2024, or at least the copyright was 2024. Ooh, a Fox game. Well, formerly Fox, anyway. 20th Century. My guess is this is gonna be Alien. Something Alien. That's my guess. This has got to be Alien. This has to be Alien. The frame rate's not looking too hot, but... Yep, Alien. Rogue Incursion. Well, that's it. That's pretty short. I'm not sure if that's a game that already is out and it's coming to PSVR 2, or if that's an actual new game, but that seemed like a very short... That was a very short trailer. So I'm guessing that's an existing game that's already out?
Hi everyone, I'm Sean Benson. I'm back on State of Play to introduce more exciting titles coming to PlayStation. Starting with a highly...
So, you know, this is 30 FPS. Like, those are 30 FPS when they do the talking head shots of the Sony. Okay, so here's the DLC. No, it's not the DLC! This is the Marvel Rivals thing that's coming out.
All realities converge here.
Which, from what I've gathered, is basically Marvel Overwatch-ish. Yeah, it's basically like Marvel Overwatch.
Stronger together. Who needs a power up? Free fire zone.
Embrace the chaos.
Insignificant attacks. Healing power. I'm back, baby. 3, 2, 1, blast off! Turns are toughen up. Gonna get sticky. Feel the wrath of the goddess.
Got some destructible stuff in there.
Okay, let's see how mankind has conquered space.
Was that a female Galactus? Or is there something to that I don't know? So I think they said these are all third-party games that they're showing right now. But they were already showing third-party games earlier, so I'm not 100% sure what the difference between those and these are. Now this is 30 FPS. The trailer, at least, is 30. Maybe the game is 60, but the trailer is 30, at the very least. Okay.
Hello, friends and fans. I'm super excited.
Ballistic
to welcome all my
Moon.
pals back to the annual Blackwood Winter Getaway. Nice one.
You can't hide from me, Michael.
Oh, you're going down. Oh. It means so
Is this gonna be like an Until Dawn type thing?
I feel like someone's watching us.
Wait a minute, didn't they announce like an Until Dawn like remake or something? Is that what this is? Because I've never played Until Dawn, but this looks like Until Dawn. Or at least inspired by it.
I was down there. You were? It was horrible.
I don't want to make hasty decisions that get everyone killed. We should stay put right here until dawn.
Okay, they just said the word. They just said the word. Insert the ding sound. Ding. They said the words. Yeah, this is Until Dawn. Yeah, I don't know if it's a remake or a remaster. It kind of looks like a remaster more than a remake. I don't even know. It'd be weird for it to be a remake. It's a PS4 game, but it's probably just a remaster. So yeah, PS5 and PC. Path of Exile. That name sounds familiar.
Ogham was once a peaceful land, but each day descends further into
If there's gonna be Spider-Man anything, it will probably be the one last thing.
plague besiege us. The earth is being poisoned. The Count's men, once our protectors, have turned on us. And now they come for me.
Just like a Diablo style thing or whatever. That'd be the name Path of Exile. That sounds familiar. Couch co-op. That's a rarity nowadays. Path of Exile, that's definitely a thing. Like, that's a game I feel like that's been around for a while. This is Path of Exile 2, granted, but I think the original game has been around for a while, because the name sounds familiar.
Excuse me.
I'm sorry. I was just...
It's okay. I didn't mean to scare you.
Okay, hold on. Wait, is this Resident Evil something?
I think you should stay away.
Oh, no, it's not! I saw that Silent Hill post office. Never mind. I don't know why. For some reason, I saw that character, and I'm like, is that Resident Evil? But, like, well, we had Resident Evil 4 already. Unless it's DLC for that.
I guess I don't really care if it's dangerous or not.
Yeah, no, this is the Silent 2 remake.
I'm going either way.
Made by Blooper? Blooper?
No.
Whatever the name is.
Here.
I think the reception to this has been mixed, generally speaking, so far, from what I gather.
I'll be good, I promise. Tell him I'll be good, please. No, please.
October 8th. Okay, so I don't think it had a release date before. And yeah, they're gonna have that Silent Hill transmission.
Capcom announced this next game last December, offering just a glimpse of what's in store for their celebrated franchise. Today, I am so excited to share the first full gameplay trailer for Monster Hunter Wilds.
Okay, that's a big deal. Yeah, this was announced at the Game Awards. This is a big one.
As soon as we find a good spot, we can get things set up and ready to go. And then we can get started.
That lip syncing is not.
I hope we find them soon.
It's not great. But then again, the game's not out yet.
Incredible. I've never heard of a Karatnoth herd this big before.
One of them's got big spikes on its back.
Now to lead it away from the pack, we'll make for the desert.
Right.
30 FPS trailer. There'll probably be a 60 FPS mode because Monster Hunter World had like an unlocked mode. I'm sure this will have an unlocked /60 mode. If not on PS5, but for the Pro. Which, by the way, I feel like this should be obvious, but the Pro is not going to be the one last thing. That's going to be saved for like later, I think. Because the PS4 Pro was never announced in any kind of big event. It was just like its own thing. They'll probably do the same thing again. Maybe in like September. I mean, they have announced hardware in these kind of presentations before. I mean, they announced the PlayStation Portal, I think, in the PlayStation Showcase last year. I mean, that wasn't a piece of hardware that people really wanted, but they announced it. So, like... As opposed to, like, Nintendo, where, like, Nintendo never announces hardware in Directs. They haven't done that in, like, literally 10 years. The last time they announced a major piece of hardware in, like, a Direct or of any kind was the new 3DS. Back in August of 2014, in a Japanese-only Direct that also had the Shulk reveal in it, which is a bit of a weird thing looking back on it now, like, that they actually announced something that big in a Japanese-only presentation. That would never happen now, but that's a whole other conversation right there. So yeah, 2025. We're over the 3. Oh, okay, this was rumored. The Team Asobi game is supposed to be like a new 3D platformer. I would actually be down for this because Astro's Playroom, I think is what's called, the pack-in game for the PS5 is actually pretty solid. It's the best pack-in game since Nintendo Land. So them doing like a full proper game would be pretty neat because that was a fun pack-in game. I'll totally play this at some point. Probably because Astro's Playroom was pretty good. And that was just for a pack, and that was just a pack-in title, right? But like a full proper 3D platformer that isn't trying so hard to be like a tie-in to, like, you know, look at all the PS5 stuff. Like, yeah, I'll totally play this at some point. Okay, so they still got some references. Oh, wait, look, there's a PS5. So I guess they're still tying it into like the PS5 to some extent. Not that it's a problem or anything, but obviously with Astro's Playroom, its whole idea was like, hey, look, here's the CPU and GPU. Like, they're trying to like tie it into like the PS5 a lot. They're still doing that to some extent with this one, although not as much. Yeah, no, this looks good though. I'll totally end up playing this at some point. Maybe when it comes to PlayStation Plus down the line or something. All the PlayStation consoles right there. It'd be kind of funny if they used this to like tease the PS5 Pro. September, okay. I'll totally try that game out at some point, probably when it comes to PlayStation Plus.
Be sure to visit PlayStation blog for more on the games you just saw, as well as PlayStation.com for the latest on Days of Play. This global celebration runs through June 12th, with deals on PlayStation Store, great new content coming to PlayStation Plus, and much more.
Alrighty then, so I guess that's that. So no Spider-Man anything. Not that I'm dying to see that or anything. I mean, again, I still have to work on the game itself, but alrighty then. The Astrobot game looks cool. It's probably the highlight, I suppose. I'm not losing my mind over it or anything, but what the? No, no, I don't want to see a Seinfeld interview.
What can you say about Jerry Seinfeld?
Alrighty then, so, yeah, I don't know. I mean, I didn't come into this with any real expectations. I'm a little surprised we didn't get confirmation of PSVR 2 on PC, or at least, or more official. I don't know. There was something about that. I'm not sure if that's official or not yet. But yeah, the Astrobot game looks cool. We got God of War confirmed. Ragnarok confirmed for PC. We have some really updated release dates for stuff like Until Dawn and a couple other games. We got to see more Monster Hunter Wilds. So I don't know. I guess it was a decent event, I suppose. So yeah, I don't know. I don't really have much to say about it. But yeah, I guess that's that. So that's probably gonna be it for me for right now. In terms of the next stream, I'm actually going to be going on vacation soon, from the 2nd to the 7th. So I will not be doing anything during that time at all, with maybe one exception. And that is, of course, we know there's a June Direct coming, but we don't know when it's coming. I really doubt it's going to be that early in the month. It's probably going to be towards the end of the month like it was. Because, of course, it used to be during, you know, E3 week, back when E3 was a thing. But last year when they did a June Direct, it was like on like the 25th or something. It was like near the end of the month. So they'll probably do the same thing again, because now they don't have to do it during E3 week, because E3 week isn't a thing anymore. So they're probably going to do it at the earliest around E3 time, which is going to be after I come back anyway. And the absolute latest, and probably when they will do it, is going to be sometime in late June. So obviously, when that happens, I'll be doing that. When Xbox does their big event, I'll be doing that as well. I probably am not going to bother doing Capcom or any of the other events, but I'll definitely be doing, obviously, Nintendo and Xbox. I will be streaming those when those events happen. Outside of that, I have no other plans for any streams at the moment. And obviously, in terms of videos, I mentioned this yesterday, but if you weren't here for the Mario Kart stream yesterday, I do have a discussion planned with Ethan, aka Duo Force. It's going to be preliminarily, I'm calling it the Switch 2 speculation discussion. It's something I've been meaning to do for a while. It's something we're probably going to do sometime next month, maybe after the Direct, maybe before. Not that it matters, because of course we know that the presentation is not going to have the Switch 2 in it, of course. They've already said so, but yeah, so yeah, so I guess yeah, I'm going to be on break for a little bit. And then we'll be back, and by the time that happens, we're going to have the Xbox event, and we're going to have the Nintendo Direct, the last Switch 1 Direct most likely, and that'll kind of be that for the time being. And we're going to have a Switch 2 discussion of some kind later this next month, probably, but we'll see. But anyways, that's it for me for today. Thank you all for watching, to anyone that did watch this for some reason. And I guess with that being said, this is Logan59XP, and I'll see you guys next time.